Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tequila Celeste, and this is my journey and process to Ghana. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the major keys that I found were necessary in my decision to move abroad, and hopefully these keys can help you making a decision to move. The first key that I would like to discuss is vision. I believe that vision is a very important factor when deciding to move abroad. So yeah, visions are very important. You have to have time to dream, you have to have time to be bored, you have to have time to really open your mind and really think about what you actually want to do and envision that in your mind and your heart, and so it can be fulfilled in your life. So after college, I noticed that a lot of my colleagues and a lot of students who attended other schools like mine did three things, or they did like one of three things. One thing they did was they hurried up and got a family and got married, which is amazing. I have a lot of friends who got married. Another thing that they did was they went back and received their degrees and went on and to get their masters and doctorates. And then lastly, I saw that a lot of people went into big top companies and worked for really big companies, which is all great. I think all of those accomplishments are of course one of a kind and amazing. But what I didn't really see as much was our African American college graduates really going home and resting. So a lot of us, after high school, we went straight into college and then straight into working full-time, or having a family full-time, or going back to school, which is all great. But I didn't really see as many people going back to like really just rest, like didn't really get to take that time to actually rest. And I noticed that in other races, not trying to compare us too much, I don't like to really compare black people to any other race, but I have noticed that other races who go home, after college, they go back to their parents' house and they just sit. They have more ability to explore opportunities and ideas in their mindset, which will allow an increase in businesses and first what is it called, which just allows them to have the ability to run free and do whatever they want and make mistakes now that they don't have any real responsibilities. Whereas a lot of African American communities, we kind of start businesses and explore the world later in life, which kind of drags us along, in our economically in our community. Another factor that I noticed that helped me make my decision was understanding my purpose and how my purpose can connect to the program or the opportunity that I wanted to do, which was obviously moving abroad. So my purpose right now is to be I want to do community development. I want to be a children and family counselor, and I want to own my own counseling center and community center. Having that in the back of my head and understanding that helped me navigate what specifically I wanted to do while I was, trying to decide to move abroad. So like the internship that I have now, it's community development, working at a primary school, but I'm working with the whole community. So it's not just like, oh, I'm teaching or something like that. It's like I'm working with the community, help understanding, of course getting culture, but helping see what they want and what that community needs, and assisting them in developing that community or developing it even more than what it is now. Just having that confirmation that you're doing something, that's being productive. You're being productive. You're not just going idly like, oh, I don't have anything to do, I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna go travel. No, you have focus, you have a purpose, you know what you're doing. That's also going to give you a lot more motivation to go out and actually move abroad. Another factor that I noticed that I looked into while making my decision was the season that I'm in. And when I say the season, it's like a period of time in your life where you notice things are happening, I guess you could say. For example, you have a season of prosperity, you have a season of laboring, you have a season of learning, you have season of sorrow, you have season of joy and contentment, you have season of being fruitful, of having a family. You have many different seasons, and you really want to understand what season you are in, where when you're making the decision to move abroad or not. Like right now, I'm in my learning season, so I'm learning as much as I possibly can. I've taken business classes, I've taken leadership classes at my church. I've gotten into my church, tried to just learn as much as possible, really effectively learning how to study the Bible, just studying anything. I've noticed that just things that I don't even know, I'll just Google it. Like if I don't know it, I'll Google it. It doesn't matter how big, how small. I just really want to just absorb all the information that I want to now, which even, that I'm going out and I want to, go and explore the world and go learn the culture and learn the values that I've never had in Ghana, I can still reflect and say that I'm still in my season of learning because of this. And once again, it'll give you the motivation and all that other stuff that you need to help you, give you the courage to help you make that decision if you want to move abroad or not. The next key that I noticed that I used was a deadline or a timeline to actually do what I wanted to do. So at this moment, like when I was using my timeline, I was pretty sure I was set. I knew that I wanted to move to a country in Africa. I didn't know which one, but I knew that I wanted to move, and I knew I wanted to move by the end of my internship that I have in Los Angeles. So I was telling people, it was accountability when I had this deadline. I was telling people this is the time I'm going to leave, so expect this. If you don't have a timeline, you could say that you're doing anything at any time. You could push anything back and just like, oh, I'm gonna do it later, I'm gonna do it later, I'm gonna do it later, and then next thing you know, you have a whole year that goes by and you didn't really get to fulfill what you needed to do. The other factor that I have, the fifth factor, is seeing and completing all the obligations that you have currently. You just want to commit to those obligations and, cease those obligations, make sure everything is fine before you make your decision to move abroad or not. The worst thing that I want to happen is for me to get abroad and there's something, left back in my home that wasn't complete or wasn't done correctly. When I decided to move to California again after college, I did that because I wanted my brother to go to college. So I was going to help my brother get into college. I was going to stay in California for a year to help my brother in his senior year get to college. And after that, my obligations were complete, so then I could, feel comfortable moving abroad. So I won't feel comfortable moving abroad until my brother is in a college. So just things like that. Just make sure that your family is set. Make sure your friends are okay. Make sure the relationships that you have with people are fine before you decide to move out, because you never know what's going to happen once you move or go abroad if you decide to. So make sure all of those obligations are complete. The next thing that I would like to talk about is the number 6 key to deciding to go abroad, and that is resources. So, of course, now that we have technology and the internet, there are a plethora of resources that we can use. But besides the internet and, researching through, online databases, also ask questions to people. I'm very blessed to work in a nonprofit organization where there are a lot of successful families, and I can, interact with them and talk to them all the time. So, in particular, I was telling, all the families that I work with about, my interest in moving to Ghana, and a lot of them have already been to Ghana. Black Americans have already been to Ghana, so they were just giving me, all sorts of encouragement and wisdom, and even the resources that they use to be able to go to Ghana themselves. And I thought that was really interesting how just asking questions, like even the smallest questions, just telling people a little there, here and there, you can get so much information if you just go out and ask questions. And I noticed that, like, before I went to college, I did not want to ask anybody anything. I felt intimidated to ask people things because I didn't want people to think I didn't know. But after college, I will ask anybody anything. It doesn't matter. I want to know all the information. I want to know it, like, I'm not playing, because you miss out on so many opportunities. You never know who's gonna, give you something, or not even give you something, but give you advice, give you, support, and support you just based off of a question that you, just a simple question, So use your resources and your relationships wisely. And yeah, that's one of an important key. And then lastly, the last key that I found was very necessary for making my decision and moving abroad was keeping quiet about my business. So I'm a very open person. I'm very personable, very down to earth, and I love to tell my business. I love to tell all my business. I don't know why, but I do. So I've learned that that's not really always the best decision to make, even when it's close people, even if it's people that you love. You never really want to tell people, every single detail that you're doing. Yeah, of course, tell them, that you're, planning to move abroad and that you're interested in that, but don't tell them like detail, because you never know what's going to go in the air. So I believe life and death lies in the power of the tongue. And you, when you're making a decision and making details about that, you never know what people are saying and what people are thinking. I also believe, so as man thinketh, so is he. You never know what they're thinking, and that can affect, you in the long run. For an example, so when I was doing my research to go to a country in Africa, I didn't mind whichever country. The top 3 countries that had the most internships were South Africa, Ghana, and Tanzania. And I knew I didn't want to go to South Africa because South Africa is like the America of Africa, and I know I didn't want to go to another America. Like, why would I leave America just to go to another America? So that was out of the picture. So it was between Ghana and Tanzania, and I've researched both of the cultures. I researched the beaches and stuff and the nature and everything. So both of them look very beautiful. Like, I was just like, yeah, I'm either one is fine. Like, I'm in it on either one. So the first internship position that I saw online was for Tanzania, and I was really excited because Tanzania has the clear, like, it's just so beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's just really beautiful. So I was like, yeah, I was really excited about that. I was very emotional, like, oh, I'm gonna go there. Like, I prayed about it, I talked to God and all that stuff, and he told me, don't say nothing to anybody, don't say nothing until you get it. Like, don't do it. So I didn't listen, obviously. I was telling people when I got the internship, like, I sent my resume and cover letter. I got the notice for an internship. I got the interview. I got the notice, and I was just telling people. I told my family, I told my coworkers, told just everybody. I even told my boss. So anyway. So after that, everybody knew, and I didn't get the same feedback. Some people were happy, and then some people were like, why do you want to go to Africa? Like, why you want to do that? And, oh, you're not serious. No, just negative stuff, just getting me upset, So it was just a hot mess. And, spirits, I believe in spirits. I believe in the spiritual world. And, just all these negative spirits just all over. And I think it negatively affected, the outcome of my thing, because I didn't get the internship. So like 3 weeks after the interview, I thought I was doing well. The hiring manager liked me and everything, but I didn't get the interview. So I wasn't that disappointed, because I knew that I had disobeyed God, and you don't really want anything. I mean, of course God gives grace, but you don't really want anything where you disobeyed. So I was kind of fine. In the back of my head, I already knew that I was probably not going to get it. But what really affected me was I had to tell people that I wasn't actually having to go to Tanzania because I didn't get the internship. So I'm telling all these people, they're getting all anxious and nervous and all this stuff, and then I don't get it. So that was really embarrassing. And also it was kind of sad to see that how people really felt. But which it was, I mean, it is what it is. It was whatever. So the next internship that I got, or that I applied to, which was in Ghana, I learned my lesson. I, prayed about it and all that stuff, but I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody what I was doing. I was just, I had a series of interviews and everything, and I kept quiet. It was hard for me to keep quiet, though. It was really hard. But I kept quiet and everything, and I got the internship. And then when I was able to tell people, like the date of when I was leaving and when's my last day and everything was just concrete and clean and concise. And it really gave people the ability to see that I was serious about moving and that I actually did it. So just keeping quiet allows you and God to really focus on, getting this action done without having, the opinions and the negative energy of everybody else. So those are my 7 key factors in deciding on if you want to, really go move forward in moving abroad, hopefully Africa, or in, moving abroad so we can all move. No, I'm just kidding. But okay, thank you guys so much. Bye.